It was a clear black night and a clear white moon. Warren G was on the streets trying to consume some skirts for the eve so I can get some phones rolling in my ride, chilling all alone. Sawadee Cup and welcome to another episode for the Funky Pod. That was Warren G and Regulate. Why? Because Warren G was the G-Funk era. Now we're in the Funkit era. That was not cringy at all. New week, new podcast. Welcome here. My little podcast co-host is lying down next to me in case you can't see it if you're watching it on YouTube. And if you're just listening, one of my two cats just came here, jumped on the desk, and now just lied here right next to me, starting to sleep while I'm about to record a very exciting podcast. How dare you, Spooky? How dare you? All right, let me open my notes. There's lots of notes, and this time, last time, if you watched the video, if not, I told you last time, I had like those background noises. That was me moving whiteboards around where I had notes. This time I do it electronically on an iPad, so I hope less background noises when I go through my notes. All right, less teachery, maybe. Teacher 2022. Okay, so let's start with the podcast this week. And just like last week, I'm using you, my dear audience, to get things off my chest, obviously, because otherwise no one listens to me, especially here in Thailand. So let me just get things off my chest. Yes, if you're watching this video, you're wondering, like, what's with the weird outfit? That's my new favorite shirt right now that I'm wearing. I know it's sleeveless, and I know it looks like in the 1980s, and it's okay. Cobra Kai, or Eagle Fang Karate. Yeah, I like it. It's a boxing-inspired shirt. So you all shut up or come get some. Other than that, what else did we have? The thing with clothes is right. So I just thought about it while I talk about it. I'm obviously not the most stylish person in the world. I know it's hard to tell. But like once I find something, usually clothes for me are like, as long as they're decent, look okayish, I'm okay with it. So don't spend that much time looking for like the best clothes and whatever. Because I think, well, I'm handsome enough, I can make everything work. But once I find something that I really like, then I buy like 2 or 3 of it. So this shirt, for example, that I'm wearing right now, if you're listening, it's this boxing-inspired sweater kind of thing, sleeveless. And it just feels nice to wear it. I just bought 2 of those, just because I thought, hey, I really like it. Let's buy 2 of those. Yeah, that's the way I am. Come at me, bro. What else do we have? Oh yeah, sure. So I'm just back actually yesterday. I went to a tattoo studio here because, as you can, again, if you watch the video, you see that I have quite a few tattoos. There are more that you can see. If you're not watching, I'm telling you, I have a few tattoos and some are not visible. If you just see me like that, more on my OnlyFans. And so I went to a tattoo artist to the same tattoo artist who did my chest tattoo that no one can see right now, 4 years ago or so. And so now I went there again because I really liked his work. And we discussed a new tattoo. And I'm very, very excited because we're on a good way to making that work. The design is taking shape slowly. Really cool guy. Wants to tattoo. The pronunciation was very much in line with my German heritage. I'm from a area in Germany, like in Bavaria, but not like a really Bavaria, like more in the north of Bavaria. It's called Franconia. For those who don't know, it doesn't matter. But for those who know, they're famous for pronouncing the D in a very soft manner. So I just pronounced the D. Again, a very Franconian way, like very soft. Once that tattoo is done, I will of course share more and also share maybe how it looks. Even though I'm not a big fan of taking pictures of my tattoos, you will never see actually lots of pictures of my tattoos anywhere online because I don't want anyone to steal it. But then it wouldn't make sense to steal it because they're rather personal, so they mean more to me than to anyone else. So why would someone steal like something personal and put it on their own body? It wouldn't make sense. So I might share this with you, and then also more about the tattoo artist. You can find this artist though if you go to my website mythai.org, and you search for Tattoo Bangkok. You will see a list of my 5 favorite tattoo studios that I all tried here in Bangkok, and he's on top of the list. If you can't wait. Okay. So let's go. That's going to be exciting. I'm going to very much looking forward to that. Of course, yeah, I like pain. Then and it's going to be a very personal thing. Like I'm really looking forward to that. I'm not sure if I really want to publicize it, but I'm looking forward to having it actually and to looking at it. More on this then maybe as we move on. Then my sister just booked her flight to Thailand. She's coming in August. And yes, I know if you're in Thailand, you're like, why in August? It's the rainy season. Yeah, it's cheaper. And maybe you get a few cool deals maybe there while you're here. Less tourists, less annoying tourists. Because quite frankly, tourism is important here for Thailand. I know. But I just walked through one of the main roads here for 20 minutes from the gym until I was home. Yes, gym. That's why the guns are out. I'm sorry. And I've seen lots of foreigners and like clearly tourists, and you're like, yeah, we need the money. Like Thailand needs the money, but oh my god, I hate tourists. Also, the mask mandate, the official mask mandate, as far as I'm concerned, but please double check, don't quote me on that. I think you don't have to wear the mask outside in Thailand in public anymore, I think. But as soon as you enter premises or whatever, I think you still have to wear it. I'm not sure. But basically every Thai person still wears a mask everywhere. And so when I go out, I don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable. So I have my mask. It's like always down so I can breathe better. But as soon as there are people coming close to me, I put the mask up, obviously. So they're not uncomfortable and whatnot. And like on my 20-minute walk right now, I saw, I don't know, 6, 7 foreigners, white people, who were wearing no mask at all. Like they couldn't even pull any mask up or anything, so they didn't have a mask on them, at least not visibly. And yeah, you can guess where they were from. Freedom, people, freedom. Just saying. But we don't want to make this like a mask discussion here, of course. Then the last thing, as I'm in a very down mood today because of a personal situation, which leads to me now having way more space here at home for me and my cat. So actually, maybe it's something positive. I'm trying not to cry on the podcast, though. But even though you are my therapist, though, of course. All right, enough of the personal stuff. So let's jump into the nitty gritty. That's why you're here for, right? That's what you're here for. So let's jump into the nitty gritty. What happened this past week in all the important aspects of life? And the first thing that happened, or one of the things that happened, and that we always discuss first at around 8 minutes into the podcast, it's mixed martial arts. It's the mixed martial arts hour. I'm kidding, Ariel. I would never steal that, even though we're also back in your life. FunkyPod is back in your life. And yeah, we have to talk about the UFC 274, whatever it was this past weekend. It was pretty awesome, wasn't it? If you're an MMA fan, you were super excited. You fell asleep and then you were very excited again, right? So it was awesome, except of that two fights. Except of 2 fights on the main card, it was pretty cool. And of course, the 3 main fights, starting off with Michael Chandler versus Tony Ferguson, CSO. First round, it looked like CSO, champ shit only, Tony Ferguson. It looked like vintage Tony Ferguson. Should just have hit an RKO out of nowhere. Looked like vintage Tony Ferguson. I think he won the round, even though he got taken down at the end and then some ground and pound by Chandler. But before he popped him, he set him down. That was really good by Tony Ferguson. It looked like the old Tony, like really nice. Then second round, Chandler like jumps, runs, shoots across the cage, picks him up, throws him down. No, that was the end of the first round. I'm stupid. So it was the end of the first round. In the second round, nothing really happened, and then just that punt kick through the middle. I'm sorry, of course, and that's how it ended. Yeah, exactly. He was on the Pat McAfee show. Pat McAfee introduced Michael Chandler as like the one of the best punchers in the world. That was kind of funny. I mean, Pat McAfee makes everybody kind of cool. Also has lots of sleeveless shirts, by the way. Just saying, Pat McAfee, I got you. I understand. It was a great fight from both. I'm still not the biggest Michael Chandler fan, simply because of the Dana White privilege, but good performance. The kick was also lots of luck. I mean, let's be honest, but I mean, still great timing. The promo afterwards that he cut, amazing. Pro wrestling, couldn't have done it any better. Calling out everybody, and then Nate Diaz on Twitter So Michael Chandler is the born entertainer. See you at the top. See you at the top. Now he's got as many wins in the UFC as he has adoptive sons. So congratulations, Michael Chandler. That was good. What's next? What's next for Chandler? He wants either a title rematch. No. Rematch with Justin Gaethje. Why no? I think he should fight someone new. Either he goes for he gets the money fight because he's exciting, so Dana White likes him. So maybe he gets the Conor fight, but Conor not fighting before the next year probably. So if you want to have Michael Chandler fight one more time this year, then give him the Dustin Poirier fight, I think. And yes, I know Dustin Poirier wants to fight Nate Diaz, but let's be honest, it's not going to happen anyways because the UFC hates Nate Diaz. So let's just do Michael Chandler versus Dustin Poirier end of this year. And then if Chandler wins, Chandler McGregor next year. If Chandler loses, it's Chandler McGregor next year. Then I think Charles Oliveira should fight the winner of Dariush Makhachev because that would just be coherent. I know everyone's like, no, let's book Makhachev versus Oliveira. I get it, but I mean, Dana White said for months that it's Makhachev versus Dariush. So now you're gonna just cut Dariush out of the picture? Come on, that's not fair. Like, how is everyone just ignoring Beneil Dariush? Like, let's just put him aside. No, he deserved that shot. He's ahead of Makhachev in the rankings, even though the rankings don't mean jack shit, but he's ahead of Makhachev in the rankings. So how can you just ignore Beneil Dariush right now? Keep the Dariush Makhachev fight. Winner gets Charles Oliveira. Easy as that. There you go. You're welcome. Seriously. Then what else besides MS Teams popping up while I'm recording a podcast? Then what else do we have? Oh God. Yeah, well, let's talk about the fun stuff first. Charles Oliveira, machine, awesome, fantastic. Like, the champ has a name and there's not much more to say to it, right? So again, in trouble early on, but then just went for it. And oh my God, like the transition again on the ground, of course, fantastic. Charles Oliveira, say the name, say that. It's like, it reminds me of like a girl has no name from Game of Thrones. The champ has a name. The champ clearly has a name, and his name is Charles Oliveira. Deservedly so. Best flyweight, lightweight. I never know the names. Best lightweight in the world. Definitely Charles Oliveira. Heads off. He actually also on Twitter, he said, Tony Ferguson, if you want to train with me, come to Shoot the Box in Brazil. We get you ready for your next fight, brothers. Awesome. Cool. That would be awesome. Tony goes Shoot the Box. If he's not too old for that by now, but that would be awesome, of course. Tony, let's go. Great. So Charles Oliveira, man, big fan. Amazing. I can't say enough. Next fight. And I also think he shouldn't fight Makhachev next simply because they want a Makhachev fight to be in Saudi Arabia. I think Charles Oliveira deserves a fight in Brazil. Have Oliveira fight in Brazil. Just imagine, it's going to be crazy. It's going to just put all the Brazilians on a car, make an awesome mega Brazil cut. It's going to blow the roof off. You're going to have Charles Oliveira main event against whoever deserves that is the number one contender, Dariush or Makhachev. Then you put Jose Aldo on there against Dominic Cruz or whatever. Insane. Then you put Jessica Andrade on there against the new champ from the Snooze Fest against Carla Esparza. I know Andrade is not really in the picture, but why not? It doesn't matter. Put Andrade on there in her new weight class, even whatever. Put her on there after her last victory. Crowd's gonna go crazy. Then you have a few more newcomers that I forget right now. It's gonna be an insane card. Just imagine the noise and the singing. It's gonna be awesome. You're welcome. Yes, King of Rio, the King of Brazil, all together. That's gonna be awesome. Come on, who doesn't like it? Besides the American fighters, but who doesn't like that? It's gonna be awesome. Okay, that was the women's strawweight title fight was just boring as ridiculous. No winner. Like Din Thomas said, we all lost watching that fight. But congratulations to Carla Esparza. It's kind of cool, like the redemption storyline 8 years later and so on. And I'm happy for her. She says the right things in interviews. She's very likable. Her journey is interesting. It was just a really terrible fight. But like, I like the storyline, the overarching storyline. So congratulations, Kala Esparza. Congratulations on the upcoming wedding. It's going to be awesome with the belt as something new down the aisle. It's kind of fun. But the fight was just terrible. But congratulations to the achievement, of course. Okay, what else? We also had Bellator the day before. Ryan Bader versus Chai Congo. It was lame. The fight was lame. The event was lame. The marketing is lame. Bellator, I say it every single week, Bellator might be the worst organization in the world when it comes to marketing. They have the second best fighters, maybe, like overall, maybe, who knows, but holy shit, are they bad at marketing? Bellator, holla at your boy if you need help. I'm a marketing professor. So if you need anything, if you need help, I'm not even going to charge you for it. You just pay the costs for whatever, but I'm not even going to charge you. I'm just, seriously, I make it a student project. My student's going to do a better job doing the marketing for you than whatever who's running your marketing right now is doing. I promise you that. Because it can't be worse. It cannot be any worse. So Bellator, holla at your boy, funkitpod@gmail.com. Then I'm going to make it an official thing with our university and stuff. It's going to look, or you can do like as a CSR project, outreach for higher education or some bullshit. But I promise you, it's going to look better than what you're doing right now because it's ridiculously bad. Then the PFL was kind of funnish with the most fights. Kayla Harrison wasn't that great, but she dominated, but just wasn't that. I mean, you're always expected to just run through opponents, right? Didn't happen this time, but she dominated, so congratulations. Ray Cooper III. But I mean, I'm not surprised at this point, unfortunately. Showtime Pettis, congratulations. Slick victory there. But also when it comes to how to market them, like I feel PFL is like close to figuring something out, but they haven't figured it out just yet. Like how to really reach the right audience, how to really market their league, because it's like a league approach, right? So like if you go to the PFL website, for example, it looks as confusing as the NBA, NFL, and so on websites. It just doesn't make that much sense to me. But maybe it's because I'm an international audience and not an American audience. But I like the league idea because all around the world, except of America, we're used to leagues. Like we also, even though we don't have the NFL, the NBA, and whatnot, we're used to leagues. Everyone's watching football leagues, soccer, all around the world. So everyone's used to leagues. So you don't need to focus on only the American audience because everybody else in the world gets league concepts too. I think it would be fun if you would even make it more international. Like, in international leagues, it's not like in America where then the season's over and then the loser, the team that sucked the most gets rewarded by picking like a draft pick first. We don't have that. If you suck the most, you get relegated to a lower league. And you have to then play a season in the lower league. And if you're good enough, you finish top 2, top 3, then you get promoted again. If not, you stay there or you get relegated even further down the road. Depends how much you suck. Also leads to, if you're really good, you can rise up the leagues, maybe even make it pro. Why not do this? Why not have like a European style league system where you can get promoted, like the PFL Premier League? Don't call it Premier League, it's lame, but you know what I mean. Like the elite level, platinum, PFL Platinum, then PFL Gold, Silver, Bronze, or whatever you want to call it. And then you just have to slowly, like a tournament setting, or like a World Cup setting maybe. Even if you don't want to do this, because then they would have to spend time in that lower tier league, for example. If you don't want to do that, but it would, like long-term storytelling would be awesome. But if you don't want to do it, then you could still have like a World Cup kind of thing. That's what they're doing right now with like the round 1, round 2, round 3. But maybe we're gonna have some qualifiers in there and so on. But still, I think like relegation promotion could be kind of cool if for long-term storytelling. That is, if you want to make a PFL season longer. So see, I'm not just hating, I see the potential, and the potential is definitely there. Okay, lastly, one championship. You okay, bro? One championship, you okay, Chatri? You're right? Because the social media accounts are just reposting the same things over and over again, like no announcements since we're on Amazon Prime, no one cares. And it sounds like I'm going to hate again. And then, well, Chatri, the CEO of One Championship, blocked me like years ago on Twitter already for just because I asked, how are you guys making money at an AMA? And I'm not hating. I want it to be successful. I live in Asia. I live in Thailand. I want to go to great events. I want to see local fighters fight on a grand stage. I'm a big fan of all the local fighters. Stam Fairtex, Rika, Stam Fairtex is great. The Wonder Girl, they're all awesome. But like also one is like, they're good at while the event is happening, but then in between, it's like reposting the same stuff and like the announcements are just meh. I wish there would be like more storytelling, just like what the UFC does, like in their embedded. So there should be like also more storytelling in there, because for me, one is still very contradictory. It's like the home of martial arts and like all of support and respect martial art, and then all the highlights on social media like vicious knockouts in slow motion from all the angles. You see him lying on the floor. That doesn't really fit the martial arts code of honor. So you gotta be more coherent there, I think. The best thing about One Championship is the year though the shirts ends on. I think I have like 5 or 6 One Championship shirts. See, I'm supporting local organizations. The quality is pretty nice, to be honest. The sizes, I always order size L for shirts. Some fit perfectly, some are just way too big, and it's always size L. So tell your Bangladeshi guys to be more coherent there. For those just listening, I was like side-eyeing the camera right now, because I'm sure they manufacture in Vietnam or Bangladesh. All right, enough MMA content though. That was enough for this week. The UFC was awesome, except those 2 fights. But the main fights delivered. They were pretty awesome. It was fun to watch. Also, respect to Justin Gaethje for taking it like a champ. I'm not wrapping it in that he called Oliveira a quitter and then he quit himself. I'm not going to do this. But he handled it afterwards very well. He's like, congrats, Charlie Olives, so all good. Where does Gaethje go from here? Also, Trevor Whitman had a shit day, right? But where does Gaethje go from here now? Gaethje Poirier would also be cool. Gaethje Conor would be awesome. But Conor is going to fight next year, so maybe Gaethje wants to go back onto the win column early too. So maybe then Gaethje Poirier, Chandler Poirier. A 3-way fight in a triangle, triad combat. Triangle fight between Gaethje, Chandler, and Poirier. That would be awesome. I'm gonna trademark that right away. Don't steal it. Triad combat, don't steal it. Let's see where we go from here. Exciting division. Really, really awesome. Really looking forward to that. Okay, then what else do we have? Well, since my little co-host just fell asleep here and the other one just is across the room, they're always in the same room with me, like my 2 cats. I have a 120 square meter apartment here, showing off in the heart of Bangkok. It's very old, so that's why I can afford it. But I have 6 rooms or whatever, 5, 6 rooms. They're always with me, no matter where I go. Those little cuties are always with me, right, Spooky? Yeah. The other one is just across the room right now on top of a wardrobe, because that's where all the cat bags are. I have several cat backpacks. If you have a cat and you don't have a cat backpack, get a cat backpack. I have 2 cat backpacks that are like soft, like those normal backpacks, just like with a bit of like, you can't see through, like this mesh, just like that to have them keep them in. And I have 2 like solid ones with like some see-through plastic covers on the left, right, and the front, so that they can just see a lot. So if I just take them on a trip, for example, they can just look around. Usually helps keep them calm. But they even like the darker ones that have like lots of cloth basically around it. I guess they feel protected. They can look out at the top and at the very bottom. And that's what we usually do when we go to the supermarket here, for example, or to like pet-friendly shopping malls that we have a few here. Oh, now she's letting me pet her belly because she's needy. So we have pet-friendly shopping malls here. I know it sounds a bit cheesy and cliche, but I feel bad when they only just hang around at home. I take them out twice a day, of course. We go outside. One of them likes to run around, climb on trees and whatnot. The other one, the one that's sleeping with next to me right now, she just likes to chill on the stairs right outside of my door from of the room. She just likes to be outside, but then she just chills there, which is also fine. And we just sit on the stairs and chill together. So yeah, but I don't know where I was going with this. Oh yeah, we have pet-friendly shopping malls and so on, which is pretty cool. So props to, I usually hate house shopping malls, obviously, but props to the pet-friendly stores and so on. I think probably became a thing during the pandemic that everyone got pets. I had you guys before the pandemic, right? Yes, at least before the pandemic got real crazy. So, but good on those pet-friendly, shopping malls and shops and whatnot. What happened last week, by the way, with this one, with the white one, it's usually not the adventurer. The door was left open by that person that used to live here. And while she was grabbing some food from the food delivery downstairs, and then this white one ran away. She likes to sneak out of the door, and usually she just runs out of the door and then just stops and just flops on her belly and then just sits there. But this time she just ran all the way down and I was hiding in the very, 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 very back of the property in like a bush. And I was looking for her for like 45 minutes at night. Luckily you're white, spooky, right? Luckily she's white. So I saw her like hiding in a bush. And it took me 45 minutes to find her. I was already Googling how to find a cat that ran away. And of course I had no great tips there. So then I tried to bring her favorite food downstairs and place it on like different central locations. When I thought, okay, she comes to grab the food, I'm going to see her from all different angles. So I left all the food downstairs, but then I had so many wildcats living here on the property that just come and take the food. So I just ran around, walked around slowly actually with my flashlight, and just looked for her. And then there she was. And then I had to convince her to come home again. And then she came home and she ran right to I have a cat fountain here that just keeps the water running basically, because she used to not drink enough, or she was dehydrated. So then I thought how to make her drink more. I placed water in different areas of the house, of course. But then I thought maybe they like fresh-ish water more. So I bought a cat fountain for her birthday last year. And it was the best investment ever because she drinks a lot from the cat fountain. And then after she ran away and I caught her, she ran right to the cat fountain and just drank for a long time from the cat fountain. Right, Spooky? That was a good investment. Her birthday is coming up again. This month. We have birthday in the same month. What are we gonna get you this time? Definitely not a cat birthday cake. We did this once for the gram. Didn't touch it at all. So don't get cat birthday cakes. Okay. The other one, the black one, also ran away for a bit, but I found her after 20 minutes. And she was actually jumping in a tree. So she was just running in a tree. She likes to climb on trees. So she climbed on a tree, and then I was looking on the floor the whole time. It was in the evening, so it was dark already, so I didn't see the black one. And then I just saw something moving in a tree. I'm like, oh, maybe that's her. I went there, and then that was her in the tree. Then I bought her now a orange reflective bandana, and now every time we go out in the evening when it's dark, I make her wear an orange reflective bandana. Yeah, now you're listening, right? I talk about you. I just saw the ears popping up from across the room. So I put it around her so that I just can see her better. It works quite okay so far. I can see her even if she jumps into like bushes and stuff. So that reflective bandana was a good idea. And lastly, a friend of mine asked if we want to do like a cat play date. Because she's got a cat, I got 2 cats, and yeah, because I want to go home to Germany at some point just to visit my family, of course. And if it's just a holiday trip, I can't take the cats, even though I would like to. But it's like so much paperwork to take your pet somewhere, obviously, like abroad. So then maybe I'm thinking leaving it with friends. But then how do cats react to new people and to other cats and pets and so on? So trying to get them to know each other. So we'll let you know how that goes because we're gonna probably do this within the next week or so. So let's see. Usually my 2 high soar upper class princesses here, they don't really react well to new cats or pets that they meet. Also not to new people. It's just like me. We don't like new people, anything new. So let's see how that goes, right? Also, last thing about cat content here today. that new tattoo that I was talking of earlier on will definitely also have some cat-inspired elements because, well, I used to have a cat 2 years ago. His name was Pumpkin, and he died very young from a heart disease, a heart failure, that the doctors couldn't do anything about it. And so to remember him, he will be part of that tattoo, and I might go into detail there. But let's see how I feel about talking about personal stuff once we reach that point. All right, but that's enough cat corner for this week. Let's move on from the cat corner to another corner that's a staple of my podcast, cast. I can't stop. I used to talk a lot about wrestling, right? And last week I said this past week wrestling had been a bit meh, and I don't know what happened to me, why I don't enjoy it right now. I'm still not sure. This week I watched a little bit. I did watch Dynamite, the last episode of Dynamite. I didn't watch Rampage. I like Dynamite. I still like I do like the Combat Club. That's kind of cool. No, it is cool. Actually, I was hesitating, but actually thinking about it, I like actually all the ingredients are cool. Like John Moxley is cool, Bryan Danielson, Wheeler Yuta is awesome. He's also the ROH champion still, is he? Right? Yeah. And of course, William Regal. So it's all awesome components. Maybe it's just the opponents that they're facing so far isn't doing much for me right now yet, but it's going to change hopefully also within the Forbidden Door when Bryan Danielson is going to fight someone cool probably. So let's see how this goes. This could be awesome actually. Maybe at the Forbidden Door event when New Japan clashes with AEW, maybe our favorite Combat Club will face off with like a faction from New Japan. That's going to be awesome. That should be fun. That's going to be brutal and bloody for sure. William Regal's going to love it. So yeah, I did like this. I am intrigued by the Forbidden Door event between New Japan and AEW. So that should be interesting to see who they're bringing in, even though I'm not following New Japan that much anymore. The last time I was still actively following it, like Okada was still the man with the Rainmaker. So let's see what they're going to bring this time around. But the Bullet Club and all those things should be pretty interesting. WWE is also still there. They had a pay-per-view again that I completely ignored, and not on purpose. I did not know that was happening. I did not know that WrestleMania Backlash was actually happening this past weekend. So of course I followed up on it. And I think the thing I was most excited about was Rhea Ripley joining Edge in his stable. Other than that, Charlotte Flair now off TV for a while, losing to Ronda Rousey in an I Quit match. Oh, I just kicked my camera in case you're just listening. I'm sorry for those watching. Other than that, I watched them fast forward, to be honest. Also the main event with the Usos. And I just can't really get behind Drew McIntyre. I'm sorry. It's just, I'm not a Drew McIntyre kind of guy. Yeah. Even the What Happened ad from Cultaholic on YouTube didn't sound excited. The Jack the Jobber did it, I think, did not sound exciting doing it. I'm sorry. So yeah, it wasn't that great, in my opinion. But I watched more than last week, so maybe I'm back on track. So let's see what's going to happen next week. Right. What else do we have? What other corners do we have in the podcast? Oh, yes, of course. The media corner, where I talk about all things media, while Spooky is like totally passing out. No. Hey, Spooky. For those listening, I'm just touching her and petting her, and she's just stretching and completely passing out now. You've got a good life there. What happened in the media? What's happening in the media? Good question. How about that Ukraine thing? Did you see it? No, you didn't, because no one cares anymore. Even less than last week when I mentioned it first. No one seems to care about the Ukraine anymore, which really is annoying. In Germany, we have one lady, like the most famous feminist in Germany, and she said that Zelensky is just provoking Russia all the time. So you wonder, like, how did Russia get so much influence over random, it seems like random people, like a feminist in Germany, for example? Like, what are her ties with Russia? Do they pay her? How do they pay her? Like, what? It's just weird. I mean, of course, the Ukraine has their own agenda, but I mean, we can all agree on that Russia invaded the Ukraine, is killing people there, and the Ukraine is basically fighting back, and the Ukraine didn't try to go into Russia just yet. For like, I mean, this, I think they targeted a few military targets, but that was it, right? As far as I'm concerned. So how is that an argument, actually? While I have a quick drinking break here. Thank you for being with me, for waiting. If you're watching, I'm going to hold it in the camera like it's 2.2 liters or something, gallon, I don't know. Drink a lot, people, drink a lot. Hydration is important. So how the hell do you, as a media outlet, I don't have a clear consciousness if you stop reporting about Ukraine in favor of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, for example, or in favor of Elon Musk and Twitter? F you. Sorry. I had to say it. I had to get it out once. Sorry. Other than that, the Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing is still one of the bigger things in the media right now. Now, Amber Heard was on trial and she's got some screen time. Apparently, according to some, I don't know, a few snippets I've seen on Twitter, because I don't really actively follow it, because like whatever. Apparently, like lots of users online now kind of support her. So the week before it looked like everybody is pro Johnny Depp. I'm not sure what happens right now. They're both crazy. She probably seems way more crazy than him from what I've gathered so far. But still, why are you in my newsfeed, people? Like, I don't need Amber Heard, Johnny Depp. Just go away. Seriously. What do you think, though? Is it interesting to see like how crazy celebrities are? What fame can do to people? Maybe even. Let me know what you think about that. This certainly is an interesting conversation to be had, I believe, and something that maybe also everybody who aims to be famous should think about. Like, what's going to actually happen once I'm actually famous? What else do we have in the news? Well, of course, still Twitter and Elon Musk, and now Twitter shareholders were about to sue Elon Musk again. As far as I've seen, Elon Musk got the backing of lots of crypto bros who support him with like $1 billion or something, so that they can fight it and that they can actually take charge at Twitter and make Twitter great again. And oh my God, I also don't care about this anymore. I do see a few more, but I'm not sure if that's like him right now, because can he already implement changes? I'm not even sure. Or is it just people now daring to be more controversial again? And they could have done it before, but they just didn't try because they were scared to get cancelled. And now they're like, Elon is here, so I'm going to say everything. And now they say everything. Even so, nothing has changed yet, and they're not getting cancelled because they wouldn't have gotten cancelled anyways. And I see more controversial opinions now again on Twitter, but I'm not sure if it's because of Elon or if it's just the way it always could have been. People just didn't try. I don't know. So that's just what I'm seeing right now. I still don't think that Donald Trump is back yet. I think he has to come back at some point, because Truth Social is probably not it. Pardon me. Then, on from the Twitter sphere into the crypto sphere. Crypto is going well, huh? Are you still hodling? Diamond hands? Me too, because I don't wanna actually come out there with a huge deficit. So that's why I have diamond hands. Crypto is fun, right? It's going down. For those who don't know, it's going down the drain right now. Everything crashing. I think Bitcoin is at $30-something thousand right now. But to be fair, in 2021, it was that we're like, yeah, 30,000. Now you're like, oh, 30,000. Because you probably bought it at like 69,000 or something. So yeah, let's see where this is going. Please don't do anything stupid if you're holding crypto. Like, hope for the long term, just as it has been like years and years before. In 3 or 4 years from now, you're probably gonna have it back. Hopefully, like with a benefit. So hodling is probably very important right now, because otherwise you're probably coming out there with making losses. I just also talked to a friend who's in the art space about like NFTs. And he said that his gallery has some NFT ideas there to work as an NFT intermediary. And that's probably a good idea. I'm not going into detail right now because they're still figuring it out. But I think that's probably a good idea, because there are lots of people out there who don't want to be concerned about how do NFTs work. Or they just want to say, I bought this NFT. And if you have intermediaries there that make the thing even easier and make it more like real world applicable, rather than I have to log in and I have to go to like OpenSea and add my Ethereum wallet and stuff like this. So then use MetaMask and whatnot. So then maybe it's a good idea, and then you can charge for that. Okay, be right back. I'm gonna set up a NFT agency. I have one more thing I want to talk about in the media corner, actually. Because this week, and I'm in the gym, I listen to podcasts, and I listened again to a few Joe Rogan podcast episodes. And in many episodes, he comes back to the same point where he says, the time right now is pretty cool for independent journalism, because independent journalists, they set up podcasts like his, or they go on Substack, and then they can reach like a unique audience. And it's a great time for independent journalists because they can reach an audience. Yeah, that is true. However, that only works if you already have a name. That works for Tim Pool, for example, who Joe Rogan likes a lot. It works for, I forgot that lady's name that Joe Rogan references all the time. It talks about like Twitter bots and whatnot. That works for those people, yes. That does not work for someone who doesn't have an audience. That works for Glenn Greenwald. That doesn't work for someone who just starts and who doesn't have an audience yet, because no one's going to find them. So that's... I agree that it's cool to have those outlets and that you don't need to be on CNN and Fox and whatnot. Yes, it's awesome. It's not as easy as Joe Rogan makes it sound like, though. It's because his friends have the reach, also partly due to being on his show. People who are just starting off, and you just start your Substack today, like totallytruth.substack.com or totaltruth.substack.com, for example. No one's going to find you. So you're still going to need to market the shit out of the stuff. It's unfortunate, I know. And while I teach digital marketing, I'm also not a marketing fan. I hate marketing. I hate selling things. But it's necessary, because you create an awesome product, an awesome newsletter, an awesome whatever you're writing, essays and whatnot about the Ukraine crisis, and they're really good, very well researched. No one's going to find them if you don't have the name. So you need to market the shit out of what you're creating, because otherwise no one's going to find it. You can't just hope and sit and wait that Joe Rogan finds it and then amplifies it, because it's not going to happen. Okay, Joe Rogan only reads the stuff of his friends. So don't rely on that. Okay, be active, do marketing for your content. Have great content first, but then you really need to get after it, and so that your great content just doesn't die in the nirvana and all alone. Okay, that's important. Okay, do it. I know it's not cool, it's not fun, but do it. It helps. Okay. I think I have 2 more things that I want to share in this podcast episode. It should be done like within the next 10 minutes or so. We're hitting like around an hour again with the podcast. As always, I have one more quick drink break in there. This is the moment where I should have a sponsor or something that sponsors me with like, Liquid Death or something. You want a sponsor or so? Even though I think water out of cans is stupid. I'm drinking water out of a refill bottle, by the way, like, cause save the world, people. Okay. 2 more things I want to talk about. I have the Thailand corner right now. Because I live in Thailand. Maybe you have questions about Thailand. So I have 3 things that I noted down that I wanted to share here in Thailand. One is, but the one I'm just going to jump over, because the question I get the most here for Thailand is, how is it with relationships? How is it to date? Girls, mostly is the questions, but also guys, I guess. But I'm a bit biased right now, so I'm going to answer that question maybe in one of the next podcasts. I leave it, but it's complicated. What was here in the news lately, which was kind of crazy, like it was in the news yesterday, that the police, they found a cult, like here in the north of Bangkok, in Nonthaburi, I believe it's the province right next to Bangkok. There was like this cult leader who had like a few hundred followers, I believe, and he made them drink their own pee and stuff like this, because that was apparently good against all kinds of diseases and whatnot. And yeah, so the police now arrested him for setting up like an illegal medical center and illegal religious whatever. And his followers tried to prevent the police from arresting him. But of course, the police arrested him, and some higher ups said like they should have intervened sooner. So in the future, always intervene sooner to prevent such things. So it was an actual cult, and apparently they were operating for the last 4 years or so in that area. Yeah, crazy. Makes me think. The cult of personality. Look in my eyes. What do you see? Maybe by next week, when the next podcast comes around, I already started a cult. Buy my t-shirts. Last thing, Thailand related. It's also personal. And rant mode on again. But it's something that lots of my friends that live in Thailand, no matter if they're Thai or foreigners, they told me like, yeah, happened to them many times too. So I mentioned this in the previous podcast. I live here in an old apartment, which is really spacious, which is nice, but it's quite old, which is also fine. Then eventually there's water leaking through the roof in the bathroom, and it just took forever for them to figure out why it's leaking and what's happening. But it took months. And so it stopped, and it started again, and it started again. So then eventually they figured out what happened up there with the pipes. They fixed it apparently. But then that was it. It didn't do anything. So then you can still see like all those spots in the ceiling. And then, of course, water on the ceiling develops into mold eventually, right? So then you can see the mold in the ceiling. And I'm like, hey, landlord, it's not that cool to have like mold there in the bathroom. They're like, yeah, right. Okay. And then the landlord sent like the local handyman, like the condominium handyman, so to speak, who fixes everything here, right? Whatever needs to be fixed, he does it, and he's also the gardener and whatnot. So he comes and he just paints over it on the ceiling and then leaves after like 5 minutes. I'm like, right. I text my landlord, hey landlord, I don't think that's how you fix mold. She's like, oh, I didn't know that he would do that. I'm like, it's not his fault. He probably doesn't know better. He's the gardener. He does everything here. So how should he know how to handle mold? So I'm not mad at him. I'm disappointed in the landlord. Then the next day he comes again with another worker staff here, and then on the top of the ceiling, inside the ceiling, like the lighting is like in the ceiling. There's like a wooden frame around it, and the wooden frame also has like mold on it. Right? Then they just change the wooden frame, paint over it again, and then leave again. I'm like, yeah, you didn't fix. I mean, yeah, you fixed the wooden frame right now, but then that's about it. Nothing else. So now I'm quite mad right now, and I can still see like A, mold, that's not how you fix it. B, mold is not good for your health. C, while that was like in my bathroom, in the neighbor room next to the bathroom is also still connected to the ceiling, of course, right? So there's also mold on the wall, and my landlord just didn't do anything. So now I'm in a position where I'm like, do I now? And I hate confrontation, especially something like this where nothing good comes out of it, because my landlord's going to be mad. I'm going to be mad. It's just going to be like a terrible time. So I hate this, but I mean, I can't just keep living here and keep like paying lots of rent for this, right? So now I'm in a situation where I say like, okay, hey landlord, listen, I know I have a contract for another 1.5 years, but that's just a no-go. And so either I move out or, hey landlord, you got to fix that now. But either way, it's probably going to be a confrontation. And I'm not looking forward to it, especially in Thailand. Confrontation is never a good thing because it always escalates, because no one seems to be able to just take confrontation like as what it is. Like, hey, I messed up, you messed up, let's find a solution. It's always like, you try to be mean to me, and that's why I'm going to be more mean to you. Yeah, there must be a winner in the situation, and it's going to be me. That's like how confrontation is being handled usually. So yeah, and usually like behind the back. It's like yeah, and to your face, like, oh yeah, saving face, being nice, and then behind your back they're gonna do something. So yeah, I can't wait for that. I'll let you know next week how this paid out. I'm probably gonna, now it's 5 p.m. in the afternoon here, so I don't want to have like a stressful evening. I'm gonna do this tomorrow morning probably. And this was the title corner. Now let's move to the last corner of today's podcast episode, which is spooky. My cat is totally sleeping right now. Which is the education corner, the Edu corner. And I told you, send questions if you have any questions about education, higher education, working in education, tips about education, academics, and whatnot. Shout out. I noted 3 things down again here also in this corner of the podcast, which is, it's of course, I told you last week, this week is going to be exam week. So exam week, hey, I told you last week that I don't have final exams because I don't like exams. Of course, checking them is annoying, but it's still easier than checking individual work, to be honest. So it would be much faster to have exams and maybe just make a TA check it. But I don't do this. So I have like very specific individual work, group work, individual work that students have to submit. But it depends on their class, of course. So they're submitting this week and next week, and then I have to check everything, of course, which is going to be a pain in the ass. And just time-wise, I'm looking forward to seeing if it's my students, I'm seeing all your assignments. I really want to, but it's just going to be lots of time to check everything, obviously, because I do it very thoroughly. Then what else? Few assignment tips. Don't wait until the last moment. Don't do it right away either. Like if I had a class, for example, I told them, okay, your final assignment is due in 10 days from now. And they try to submit it like within an hour after the exam, where I can say, there's no chance in hell that you figured everything out within 1 hour. Like maybe you have an outline of what you want to do, but there's no chance that you actually created a whole project that you're supposed to create, like doing like step A, 1, 2, 3, 4, within an hour. So there's just no chance in hell. So yeah, if you have time, there's a reason why your professor gives you the time, because he wants quality. Okay. Also, speaking of quality, right now, also deadline for a thesis. The final year students have to write a thesis, or they do an internship, and then they write a kind of like a thesis report, like a shorter thesis with the internship. The same thing here. If you wait to the last minute, which lots of you did, well, then you're going to be stressed now, of course. Don't try to rush like a day before the deadline, because then your professor's going to be like, yeah, you waited like the last 8 months and now you want me to rush? I have 10 theses I need to read. Wait. And what about the format? What about the formatting? Takes so much time usually, not because of us, so we don't really care about the format as a professor, but like there are guidelines from the university, and the university staff cares about that. So plan time for that as well. The proofreading takes time also, right? Grammar checks are very important. So think about all those things. I had a few students asking me, Professor, I'm in like chapter 2 literature review right now, and I really lost motivation because it's all so dry. And I mean, what should I say? Should I say, okay, don't do literature review? No, I can't say that. You have to do literature review. But why? So step 1, first idea, why don't you pick a topic for your thesis that you like? Pick a topic that you like, that you're interested in. You're going to have to do research with this topic, on this topic, for the next 3 to X months, right? So find a topic that you're interested in. If you're interested in sports and my faculty, like journalism and mass communication, and you can still relate it to PR, to marketing, like digital marketing in the sports, whatever. It just related somehow. There should be a better title for that, and you would find it, but I'm just trying to highlight. So you can relate it. You can always relate things. So find something that really interests you. Storytelling in the sports marketing, whatever. NFTs for sports. I'm just sticking with sports theme right now because of my shirt and my guns that I'm showing. Okay. So there are ways to find things that you're interested in. Then if you have the topic that you're interested in, find literature that you're interested in. Who tells you that you have to review literature from 1987? The definition of marketing. No one. We all know that by now. No one wants to read those things anymore. Okay? Find related literature. And yes, you need to have some core literature. You need to, if you're in the communication space, you need to have some basic understanding of Marshall McLuhan, Sean Baudrillard, and so on. Yes, of course. But not only. Try to look into findings from the 2020s, 2010s, 2020s. If you only repeat research from the 1980s and 90s, it's like all you repeat is just Noam Chomsky when you talk about like society and the impact of media and whatnot. There's nothing new coming out of it. we already reviewed all the Chomsky books. So find new things that are interesting, that relate to what you're doing, and then you build up on that. And then it's more exciting, and then you hopefully have more motivation to finish the literature review. Okay, so there's just some tips here. But again, maybe for when the next semester starts with like all the thesis students starting to think about it, maybe then I'm gonna make like a tips video or something just to help out a little bit. Lastly, or no, second to last, when you're in academics, right? One thing you also always have to do, and it's what lots of people don't know, is you have to write papers and publish and stuff like this. And this is really annoying. I just handed in another paper, and then you get reviewed by people not from your space, and then just they give you like the most stupid feedback in the world. You're like, you're a professor of biology, and are you commenting on my paper on communication research? And F you. I'm sorry. That's why I hate academic conferences. I hate academic papers. I much rather publicize in like a magazine, which I did before, publicize like online, like on some Medium collections, on some LinkedIn newsletters of like related organizations, rather than in an academic journal. And I hate that universities paying so much attention to like which academic journal did you publish, because let's be honest, you publish in an academic journal. If you have connections there, it's easy. If not, it's not. And then you just pay money to publish it anyways. It's annoying AF. Sorry. Academics, man. Same with jobs in academics. If you're looking for jobs to start in academics or to move somewhere else, it's all about knowing someone. If you don't know anyone, usually the processes are just ridiculous. It's like they have to have the process in place, but actually they don't want anyone from the outside coming in. They want people that know someone, so they can say, oh, you know this person, okay, come in and work for us. If you go like through the process step by step that's set up, it's made for you to fail, to like forget to submit something, and they want like weird teaching statements, for example, or then they want references from your current work. Like my current work wouldn't be a reference, because if they know that I apply for you, then they're not giving you a good reference about me, because they don't want me to leave, for example. Like, So applying for academic jobs is also, not that I would do it right now. I'm happy where I'm at, obviously, but just from experience and seeing what others are doing, I heard from friends. So it's also just a pain in the butt. Let's be honest, right, Spooky? I asked the cat that sleeps next to me for the past hour now. You are chill there? No, she's closing her eyes with her paws. Don't be fooled by me thinking cats are cute. I'm still gonna spinning wheel kick you in the face. That's why I wear the sleeveless shirt. Just saying. All right, that's it for the Funkit Pod this week. Don't forget to, if you enjoyed this, to like, share, subscribe to this thing, follow on social media, add Funkit Pod on social media. I'm also still working on new guests. So if you know someone who wants to be here or should be as a guest on the Funkit Pod, shout out. Social media at Funkit Pod, email funkitpod@gmail.com. Website is funkitpod.com, one word, .com, funkitpod.com. And ideally, you would also rate this thing on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, wherever you're listening, because if you actually rate it, more people will find it. Then we have a bigger conversation, which would be nice. Right. Okay, so thank you again for being with us this time, Spooky and I and Snooze over there, saying thank you very much. Take care, stay safe, see you, and talk to you very, very, very soon. Sawadee Krap.